Starfield is arguably the biggest game release of the year, and that's saying something considering how jam-packed 2023 has been. Today, however, we received some insane new details about Starfield direct from the developers. My name is Codiak, this is Legacy Gaming. Strap yourselves in because things are about to get interesting. If you haven't heard the news, Starfield has gone gold, which means it's ready to ship and play. This is huge news after multiple delays and a lot of pent-up energy from the community anxious to play the game. The team even revealed when players on both Xbox and PC would be able to preload their games, which is great considering how big it most likely is. To level set, today on the official Bethesda Game Studios Discord, both Will Shen, lead quest designer, and Emil Pagliarulo, lead designer, sat down to answer more than a dozen questions from the community. Everything from buying your first home to traveling the far reaches of space was discussed, and most of it will have a big impact on the gameplay experience. The first big news has to do with player housing. Both Will and Emil confirm that yes, players can buy or in some cases be rewarded with dwellings in various cities. According to Emil, every major city will have a dwelling that can be purchased, specifically stating that at least one of those you get specifically for completing something. A little vague there. One thing we talked about in our Starfield Ultimate Preview video was how traits would establish your character and their backstory in the universe. Rightfully so, a lot of folks were curious about the kid stuff trait that generates 2 parents for you at the cost of some weekly credits. The team confirmed that your parents are actually built using the same character creation tech as the playable character, which means they should be somewhat a reflection of your character. Emil admits the math is a little complex, but did drop a hint that the voice actors they got to play the mom and dad will be of interest to the community, and that the trait will pay off in other material ways, but failed to expand further. The developers have talked about smuggling in the past, but for the first time have opened up about how the system will work. According to Will, certain items are considered contraband, and you'll need to smuggle them past security ships that are in orbit of major settlements. Emil chimed in saying, and yes, you can hide them using special ship modules that you purchase. This all points towards making more credits, and Emil did confirm that the economy is fixed, but prices of bought and sold goods can change based on the skills you choose. Apparently, we've got a lot of criminals in the community because the next thing people wanted to know about was going to jail in Starfield. Will revealed that yes, you can elect to go to jail or pay a fine when you're arrested, or even resist arrest and try and escape. Emil expanded on this further, saying the team actually explores the themes of crime and punishment in the futuristic universe, which means we might actually see more depth to a system other than just getting thrown in jail and walking out after paying a fine. It's hard to say at this point. I thought this next question from Victor Mayhem was really interesting. Will time pass when not in the game? For example, will my trade routes, outposts, and mining operations continue to produce, or does that only occur when actively playing? Emil and Will both answered that the game only progresses time when you're actually playing, so if you are hoping to build up a huge outpost operation then log off and profit, think again. Sadly, I think this is going to turn off some people, but there are ways around it which players have been using and taking advantage of for well over a decade. At this point, we started getting into the weeds of joining factions and being double agents, which is funny, but definitely a bit murky. What the developers revealed is that all the faction storylines are completed independently, which means you're not limited in your options by choosing one over the other. At some point, you will have to make key decisions. The team points to whether or not you betray the Crimson Fleet or UC Sysdefense, but starting down that path with each faction is possible regardless of your choices. From betrayal to a path of peace, the next question had to do with a playthrough that involves no killing. It was pretty clear by the developers' lukewarm response that this wasn't going to be possible for a number of reasons they didn't want to outright say, but they did make it clear that the speech challenge game is a core system of non-violent playthrough. That being said, they can't guarantee that it's possible to play the entirety of Starfield without killing, and that makes sense given the scope of how big the game is. At this point, we started careening into RP territory, and that's fine, because I know a lot of folks out there are into that. The question from a number of community members was about religion, specifically the groups Sanctum Universum, Enlightened, and the Great Serpent. According to Emil, existing religions are part of the Starfield universe, with folks of all religions and denominations out there, but the team doesn't really focus on one specifically. Instead, they highlight 3 new ones specific to the game. Will chimed in that the Sanctum Universum is only a couple of decades old in the timeline, but has gained a lot of prominence. They believe that God is out there somewhere in the universe and that humanity's ability to travel the stars brings them closer to God. The Enlightened are an atheist group that focus on humanitarian and community work. They believe that life is something every person has to take responsibility for, so that if we want the world to be a better place, we have to do it. Emil chimes in about the last group, clearly with some passion behind his answer. In the game, you're not really sure what the complete truth is, but the gossip among the guards is this. The colony ship set off for a new world, making grav jumps along the way. After one of those grav jumps, one of the passengers claims he spent that time communing with a celestial entity known as the Great Serpent. What was a few seconds later for everyone else was much longer for him, and he brought back a mandate which is basically get on board or be devoured when the Great Serpent encircles the universe. In the game, you sometimes face off against the House Varun Zealots as an enemy group, and that's their motivation. Moving away from lore into true gameplay system territory, the team revealed some huge news about companions. According to both Will and Emil, there are over 20 named characters that can join your crew. 4 of them are from Constellation and have the most story and interaction. But all of the named characters have their own backstory, can follow you around, and carry your stuff. It was clear from the developers' response that they're really doubling down on companions, using past experience as a guide since they've been so popular in previous games, even going so far as to say there are some big moments that specifically happen with companions. To add on to that, there was a question about outposts and if players would have to pay their companion salaries to work them. The answer is yes, but it's a one-time fee, and you can use the speech challenge game to negotiate the price. Additionally, some traits will also impact the price. The team also confirmed that companion skills do not level up as you play the game. They're preset, but they do stack with your character's skills when relevant. Emil goes on to explain that this has the most impact when it comes to ship and combat-related aspects of the game. Finally, a fun note about our mechanical friends. The developers talked a bit about how the mechs came to be, and more importantly, where they came from. The mechs are left over from the Colony Wars. Both sides, United Colonies and Freestar Collective, had mechs, but the Freestar Collective really mastered them. The United Colonies had mechs too, but they also relied on their controlled alien beasts from their Xeno Warfare division. Both of those were outlawed with the armistice that ended the Colony War. The team did hint that there is an old mech battleground somewhere in the game, which is something interesting for us to track down once we go hands-on. It's no secret that we are just as excited as everyone else about Starfield, a massive space RPG. Count everyone here at Legacy Gaming in. Friends, we hope you're ready to strap in and head for the stars. We are currently doing a huge giveaway for some copies of Starfield, so if you want to enter for your chance to win, make sure to head to our website, legacygaming.gg/news. Of course, you can also join us on Discord if you want to chat with the team, talk about great games, and enter for your chance to win loads of other free prizes. As always, that link is below. My name is Codiak, and from everyone here at Legacy Gaming, thanks for watching, and play on.